Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on the Family First Life AMS Live. That's Advanced Market Sales, Advanced Market Solutions. The whole crew is here today to welcome you to the 2020 new year. We're excited about what last year was accomplished and what is going to be accomplished this year with our partnership with Integrity and what we're doing on the IUL front, the annuity front, and getting ready for a national conference. So we're going to start out reading the numbers. I think we're going to start out with Kim and the IUL numbers, right?
Yep.
All right, go for it.
So we're in week 1 for the IULs. We have Dominic W. for 283, Henry A. 417, Ross R. at 423, Ellis S. for 500, David H. at 809, Christopher M. 824, Yvette G. 1,340, Michael R. 1,548, Christopher B. 1,800, Amado 1,811, Chris N at 2,265, Brigido G 3,155, Marcy L 3,368, Joshua M 4,297, and Shelly M at 18,900 for a total of 41,741. Way to go, guys.
And then we're going to read the issue paid numbers for annuities for December 26th through January 1st. Start off with Joseph B, 1,000, Antonio R, 10,000, Georgina S, 14,835, Rain K, 14,861, Jose G, 29,683, Michael O, 30,000, Chris F, 35,135, Jose R, 40,000, Donald M, 50,559, Timothy K, 62,383, James M, 66,925, John D, 80,000, Tyler S, 80,576, Denisio O, 92,264, Shelly M, 100,000, Cameron Z, 100,000, Jose F, 100,000, Alan C, 101,690, Laura K, 143,394, and Gregory C. and Spencer F., 250,000, for a weekly total of 1.4 million. And then Bridget is going to read us our promotions.
All right, and this is my favorite call of the month because it's super exciting to me to see agents actually going up in levels to after they've earned production. So if you've issued a certain number, as you know, our lifetime production counts dating back to January 1st of 2018, we continually strive to raise you based on that production. So I have those numbers for you guys. We had quite a few agents here issue their first $100,000 with the company for promotion from the green to yellow level. Those agents are Cameron Z, Allison D, David P, James M, Laura K, Denise C, Eufema E, Terry G, Dionisio O, John Y, and Clint N. Great job, you guys. We then had 2 agents surpass the $500,000 mark and be raised from yellow to blue, and those are Toria M and Jose F. Great job as well. And then we had 2 agents actually pass their $1 million mark. This is exciting for promotions from blue to silver level. Those were Dean P and Bradley A. So great job, everybody. I love seeing those promotions. It means you're out there earning and being able to, the potential to make more. So great work. Sean is going to actually go over next our final team standings for 2019.
All right, thanks, Bridget. I want to start here by showing the compensation levels, okay? So we talk about the producers, and this is a pretty cool thing. So this is like having airline miles that never expire. As your lifetime annuity production goes up, your compensation level goes up. What does that mean? That means that, well, as you get more experience and you understand the program better, you get paid more for writing more annuity volume. It also means that if you hire someone or are training someone, you can have an override spread. So you can actually make money by helping people. So you see here a brand new agent who hasn't issued the first annuity, they're gonna be at 5.25%. They then move up incrementally based on lifetime production, all the way up to the potential of earning 7.5% on a base annuity, meaning average age, average state, and 7.5%. Great compensation, some of the highest compensation I've seen in the annuity industry. But what about production level on the agency side? See, this is something that we haven't talked about enough, but we're continuing to push on in 2020. So those same levels can be achieved and actually exceeded on the agency side. So if you see over here, an agent or an agency issuing at the yellow level, blue level, or silver level, or gold level is the same until you get to the black level of 24 million. So if you're someone like a Matt Smith at Family First Life Northwest, a Paul McLean, a Mike Killamette. You're not out there necessarily. Now, Matt still writes a lot of annuities, Paul writes annuities, but let's take Mike Killamette, for example. Mike Killamette, Family First Life Southeast, the largest individual agency of Family First Life. He's not out there writing individual annuities. So he's not moving up the producer side, but his agency is growing with production. That production is 100% of your annuity production for everyone that is direct to your agency. 50% of annuity production, that is everyone that is one agency below, and then 25% of all production below that. So you never get trimmed below 25%. And that's the idea of moving up the ladder for your agency side, this side over here, which you can actually achieve up to 8.5%. 8.5%, that's higher than a lot of IMOs receive for annuity production. Now, what does that look like if we look at it more specifically for 2019? This is a race, right? The idea that I want to get X amount of production out for 2019. The same race is starting for 2020, and you can see who was involved in this right here. So let's start with who's out front. Coming just shy of 24 million, which is the 7.5% level, was Family First Life Northwest, led by Matt Smith. They've always been great annuity producers. They do a lot of annuity production. They have agents like John Gavin, Tiffany Grunberg, Brigitte O.G. They've got lots of good agents that are producing annuities there. You can see the largest agency, Family First Life Southeast, came in second, just under 20 million, and other agencies to follow. So if we look across here, these are agencies that are vying up that right side of the commission level to earn agency overrides. Now, what does that mean? Okay, why do we have to pay attention to that? Well, when we look at the statistics, and this is kind of scary and kind of exciting at the same time, our average agent, okay, less than 7% of our contracted agents issued an annuity in 2019. So we have a lot of room to grow, which means that our agencies have a lot of room to grow. So if we look at this here, why would I want to grow as an agency? I broke this down into something called the rule of thirds. So whether you're at 12 million, 24 million, 40 million, 60 million, whatever it might be, understand as an agent, whether you're just getting started with Family First Life or if you're a VP, a board member watching this call, why should you strive to grow your agency volume in annuities? Simply put, you're going to make a lot of money. Now let me show you what that breaks down to. If we take anybody's agency and we break it down to thirds, about 1/3 of their production is going to come from new agents. We're constantly putting new agents into the system. They're striving for achieving perfection and becoming stable and moving up the ranks. Then about 1/3 is your middle agents, the agents that aren't brand new, but they're not the ones that are top producers. And then the last third is your top agents, okay? So if we look at someone like what David Pyle and Danielle Byrne would contribute to FFL Tri-State, there might not be overrides because their compensation is high, but it still counts towards their annuity volume. They still get paid a bonus on it, and it still helps them go up the ladder for production. So if we look at this, we've broken it down. I've done some analysis. So Matt Smith, FFL Northwest, the #1 issue paid annuity agency in 2019, he made $168,000 in annuity overrides. And that basically breaks down across the board to this rule of thirds. So you're going to average at the $24,000 level, you're going to average about 1 point of override for a third of your business, about a 0.5 point of override for a third of your business, and no override, but just production credits and bonus for the other third. So what does that look like? Well, if we approach this $24 million line, I broke it down. $24 million divided by 3 is $8 million. So one segment of $8 million is going to pay you 1%, or $80,000 in overrides. That's just annuity overrides. It's actually not counting IULs, right, Kim? It's not counting overrides from life insurance business,
Right.
not counting business that you write on your own pen. Another 8 million, you're going to have 0.5%, or 40,000. And that gets us right around that number. That's actually kind of a conservative number, that if you're a $24 million annuity shop, you can expect to get $120,000 of completely passive income while you're helping agents pay for leads, pay off their bills, earn money, and grow up the ladder. Now let's bump that to 36 million. We have some agencies that are really starting to take off. I think of Tri-State, I think of Northwest, I think of Andrews Group. Killamette's Group is always a juggernaut because of their size. So if I was going to do $36 million of annuity volume in 2020, or maybe 2021 as we build towards this, you're now looking at $180,000 of annual recurring revenue, completely passive revenue. And here's what's cool. As you move up the levels, so let's say you breached the $50 million mark and you now went to an 8% override. 8% is huge. That third rule breaks down to $20 million segments, and because you have a higher override amount, you now make 1.25% on a third-year business and 75 basis points on a third-year business. So now that's $400,000 of annual recurring revenue. So I think of people like Jack Yu, Nick Ayala, the group abroad, when we talk to these businesses, these agencies that are growing, how valuable and important it is to focus on the annuities. So, all right, thank you everyone. We do have now a nice quick announcement from Lauren on something new that's being delivered to you from the AMS team.
Yeah, so we are excited to announce that tomorrow we will be launching the new updated FFL AMS website. This update is really to be focused on the new agents that are coming in. We've really set it up to kind of guide you step by step to see what you need to do first, what videos are most important to watch to learn about just all of the advanced market products. And then if you do have a current login with us, if you've already registered, you can just go ahead and register the normal way at fflams.com. If you're a new agent, you'll just there will be instructions on the website to register. And then we're just really excited about it. So we hope you guys take advantage of that website and check it out and email us if you have any questions. And then Bridget is going to do a live trivia. I'll pass that on to you.
Thanks, Lauren. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up our segment here before our next classroom with some live trivia. So I'm going to read you the question and the answer options, and I want you to answer in the comments below, and we'll check back in about 5 seconds to see who got it right. So the first question, which Medicare enrollment periods allow an individual to apply up to 3 months prior to attaining age 65? Is it A, special enrollment, B, automatic enrollment, C, initial enrollment, or D, coming off of COBRA? All right, everybody get their answers in there? Our answer is C, initial enrollment. You can start enrolling 3 months prior to age 65 to make sure that you don't get any penalties or anything for enrollment period upon attaining age 65. So the answer was C, initial enrollment. Second question here, this is going to be a true or false. You cannot access funds from an annuity during the surrender period. Is that true or is that false? Drop your answers in the comments now. All right, that should be easy, true or false, one or two options there. Okay, the answer is false. The fixed index annuity actually allows you to access funds during a surrender period. We get a lot of clients concerned about locking up their money or not having access to it. Surrender period sounds kind of scary. Typical surrender periods range from 7, 10, 15 years. You can access money through penalty-free withdrawals, and so those range from anywhere from 5% to 10%. So you actually can access money in an FIA. So the answer to that one would be false. Thanks, guys. Up next is our classroom segment. We'll see you next week.
Hey everyone, Sean Ruggiero. Thank you for joining us here for the classroom. Advanced Market Sales Live here on Facebook. I want to talk to you today about a standardized rule for financial planning, and that is the rule of 100 minus your age. What am I referring to? I'm referring to how much of your portfolio should be in bonds, okay? As we know, equities have higher earning potential, but they also have more loss potential, okay? So when we're young, having a lot of our money into equities, that's stocks, right, makes a lot of sense because we have a long time till we need to retire. But when we're older, we need to start shifting, right? That glide path, getting into a more conservative portfolio and getting things like guaranteed income, guaranteed returns, or more sure returns, and that would be bonds. So if we use the rule of 100 minus your age, I'm 44 years old. Let's say I'm 40 for easy math. If I take 100, subtract 40, okay, I should have 40% of my money at age 40 in bonds, 60% in equities. Now, it's a rough rule, okay? Now, we're not saying this and advising people on which stocks to pick or anything like that. We're not going in and dicing up people's portfolios. But most of the people that we sit down with, they've got limited options. We're talking about people with a couple hundred, 300, maybe even $1 million of investable income heading into retirement. It's Social Security, what's in their IRA, and maybe the value of my house. That's what we're working with there. So having that accumulation and protecting it is a key part of what we do. So using this rule, this is a rule that if they Google it, they're going to see it out there. It's a rule that's defensible. I'm going to show you how we can take this simple rule and apply it to fixed index annuities to help us sell more and protect more people, all right? So how much of your retirement should be in bonds? Here's a graph that simply states, take your age, then that percentage should be equal 100, should be in stocks, and the percentage of your age should be in bonds. So obviously, if I'm age 20, very little of my money should be in bonds. Most of my money should be in stocks, and you can see that here with the 80-20, all right? Now, as we get to be older, and I was actually speaking to Matt Walker earlier this week, and we had a 70-year-old, and we said, how much should we put? He had $1.5 million, or she had $1.5 million available to invest. We said, well, let's use the 100 minus your age rule. See, it's a good rule because for suitability purposes, we can't take all of someone's money. We don't want to, right? And the equities can return well over time, especially if someone has longevity, all right? So it's a great hedge against inflation. So let's take 100 minus 70. You should have 30% in stocks and 70% in bonds. So Matt presented to her, let's move 70%, or roughly $1 million of the $1.5 million, and let's put it into the bond portfolio. But rather than putting it in traditional bonds with your investment advisor, we're going to use a fixed indexed annuity. Why are we going to use a fixed indexed annuity? Because it is superior to bonds. Well, of course I'm saying that. I'm selling fixed index annuities, right? Makes sense. If I'm selling fixed index annuities, I'm going to tell you they're the best thing out there, right? They're the cat's meow. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, all that stuff. So what I've learned from Tom Hegna is use other people, use authorities that can back you up on why you're pushing the fixed index annuity. And that's what we provided for you here. So we have people like Roger Ibbotson, Robert Schiller, Moshe Milevsky, Wade Pfau. Okay? I mean, this guy's a Nobel Prize winner for economics. All right? So your advisor at blank, blank, whatever, brokerage, says that you should keep the portfolio. Well, we have a Nobel Prize winning professor at Yale that says you should consider FIAs. Right? So we're tying these things together. If we know that you should have more bonds the older you get, okay, the 100 minus your age, you should have bonds. And we now are saying that FIAs, fixed index annuities, are better than bonds. Don't ask me, ask the experts. You know, if I sell a fixed index annuity to Susan Smith, do you think Moshe gets paid? No. You think Wade Pfau gets a check or commission? Absolutely not. So this is agnostic and educated opinions. And we have the ability now to translate this and broadcast this and preach this to our clients. So what we want to do, and I have an example right here, is you want to go to the fflams.com, log in, and under the resources tab, you're going to find the new white paper that talks about why FIAs are better than bonds. So again, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Smith, as you probably have heard, you need to have a higher amount of bonds in your portfolio the older you get, okay? In fact, the rule of 100 minus your age is a very good rule. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you're 60 years old. We're going to take 100 and take 60. That's how much. You should have about 60% of your portfolio in bonds. Now, let's say that they have $500,000. Well, that's $300K. So I'm going to take $300K, but rather than putting it in bonds, I'm going to put it in something called a fixed index annuity. Now, why would I recommend that, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith? Is it because I get paid for doing that? Well, I do. But I also feel good about doing it because it's not about me getting paid. It's about putting you in the best vehicle for that 60% of your portfolio. And rather than taking my word for it, why don't you take Mr. Schiller's word for it? Okay? This is a Yale professor and Nobel Prize winning economist. And he wrote an article that says that fixed index annuities would outperform bonds. In every 10-year period that he ran the illustrations, the FIA outperformed bonds. Also, Roger Ibbotson, who is a hedge fund manager and a professor at Yale himself, he wrote an article that says fixed index annuities beat out bonds. Take this, read it for yourself. Look at the comparisons that he's drawing. And folks, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you read those articles. I think it's 4 pages, 5 pages. Thank you, Lauren, for putting that together for our agents. But have yourself armed with this. 1, have it printed out. 2, read it. Okay, knowledge is power. And if we understand that this is an absolute fact that you must put more of your portfolio into bonds or bond-like investments the older you get, an absolute fact, the statistics, the math and science show that FIAs outperform bonds, then what's stopping you from making a sale? Not just to the people you sit down with, but the people you know. Go preach this. Be proud of what you do. Help people out in retirement. If you have any questions, please email us at info@fflams.com. Thank you. Hey everyone, Sean Ruggiero, Family First Life. This is our agent profile section. Today we have, and per capita is per head. What is it when we talk about per diem, right? Okay, so the highest grossing producer per diem with Family First Life, David Allen. David, pleasure seeing you today here.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here in Des Moines, as most of these interviews that are taking place for the Athene training. So something that I know I'm excited about, and this is, I think, my 5th year here. I know you're excited about, but it's top producers excited about stuff you would think they already know. No, it's excited about brushing up on the fundamentals, but also, building on that knowledge, which I think is a core piece of having success with annuities. It's also why we do calls and interviews like this. So I'm on task. I got my 4 questions. I'll rattle them off. We'd love to hear, especially from someone like yourself who has had such great success. And if that success, because you've only been with Family First Life for well under a year or under a year, if that success came from something previously, share with us, right? Because where did that knowledge come from? How can we ascertain it? That's what we're looking for. Sure, so first question, David, where are you from? How long have you been with Family First Life? And what did you do before this?
Where I'm from, I'm native to California, born and raised in the LA region, still live there today. My wife is actually from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so we're actually looking to set up a second office here the next year.
Nice.
And run both sides.
Yeah.
Second half of the question, please.
Yep, the second half of the question is, how long have you been with FFL? And, what did you do before this?
Okay, so how long have I been here? I've actually been here just a shade over 6 months, like 6.5, 7 months,
Okay.
That's it. The company I came from, because I was in the industry working for a different IMO, that the design, the layout was completely different than what we have here. It honestly felt coming here like it was taking the gloves off, taking the ball and chain and just being able to throw it away and actually be able to go to work. I was with them for 4 years, 4.5 years. After my first 6 months, I hit VP within their system, so I was trying to do a lot of the same things we're trying to do here in terms of agency building.
Yeah.
But prior to that, it was accounting, income taxes, 7th generation contractor in the family.
Okay.
Had to be
Okay.
the fun person, so to speak, to let the family know that 2008 really did destroy the family business and had to tell the family that we needed to shut it down.
Yeah, yeah.
So, accounting and income tax things became more of my full-time, but it allowed me to help other people and realize that this industry from this side, I can help more people.
Yeah.
So it really felt good to be able to
Yeah,
expand out.
you make a good point. When someone's found their taxes, it's the aftermath of what they've done.
Right.
Right? It's the aftermath of the wages they've earned, the choices they've made, the deductions they've accumulated. You probably saw a lot of people, and we have to remind ourselves, they don't know much. Right? We don't have classes in high school that say, here's how your FICO scores work, and here's how you're going to amortize a mortgage, and then here's how you're going to, right? Walk you through life. And the retirement we need for this, here's a qualified fund, here's how you set X amount away. No one does that. It doesn't exist. So we take that for granted that people know a little bit. They don't. And I bet as a CPA, you were able to see a lot of people who were just struggling to understand what they're supposed to do with their money at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of that actually, you don't realize how little they know until they sit there and tell you that the way they're trying to save is the best way when you actually know different.
Right.
So
right,
then you
right.
got to figure out how can I bridge a gap and actually start to share with them some theory and logic on how things should be working, so that you can create an opportunity to help them to do better than what they've done.
Yeah, good point. How many annuities, question number 2, how many annuities have you written in your career?
In my career, would probably in the neighborhood of 65, 70, 75.
I'm going to do an off-the-sheet question.
Okay.
Quite a few of your annuities have been higher than the average. Athene's average, believe it or not, is like $113,000. That's their average annuity for a company that does how many billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. My point is this, is that if you're in there getting $60,000 and $200,000, that's right on course. Yours, you've had quite a few that are a bit higher. I know some of them personally have been relationships that you had just kind of as a financial advisor, as a CPA of some
Right.
sorts, if I'm inserting the wrong role there, but you get my point. You had a relationship with them.
Yes.
But what do you attest that to? Is it, and be very honest, if it's like, hey, I just happen to know a lot of these people that had millions of dollars, or if you feel like there's a certain thing in the way you handled them or spoke to them or treated them that helped you with some of the larger annuities.
I would honestly answer that, Sean, as the second half of what you just said.
Okay.
To me, when I sit down with somebody for the possibility of doing some annuity work for them, I know that they're looking to entrust somebody with management, training, coaching, helping them to make some good decisions. When I look at an annuity, whether it's 600,000 or 113,000 or $1 million or any other number, to me, it's a number. But the realization to me is, like, for example, if it was you, that's one of the most important things in front of you right now when we're talking. So I make that the most important thing in the room, and I edify them on being very good savers to that point in time.
Yeah.
And then
Good
start
idea.
to work on the fear side of how are you going to feel when the market starts to turn, and wouldn't it be nice to protect it so you don't have that to worry about.
Yeah.
And that just opens the door. But I focus most of the time on actually trying to cause them to feel comfortable with me as an individual and just create that trust. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time to do that.
Right.
But to me, it's massively important that they have to feel good about talking to me about whatever dollar amount they're eventually going to want to move towards a company that I might bring to the table. So I really focus on that first and foremost.
Excellent point. You mentioned 2 parts of that, which is very important. David's not saying that he sits there for 7 days and discusses everything and balances their checkbook for him. What he's saying is, I focus on them, and I work diligently to make sure they're my focus for that 30, 45 hour-long meeting, maybe 2-hour meeting as you wrap up annuity business. Annuities are turnkey. These are not people who have so many assets they have to worry about capital gains over here, and should they set up an AB trust, or right? This is not
Right.
complicated stuff. This is, I don't want to lose any money, and I want to get the best growth I can, and I might want lifetime income. So if you focus on them, it makes all the difference in the world, and you have the type of people that an hour or 2 of diligent planning is more than they've done it in their last 10 years.
Correct.
Right? So I think it's a great point. All right, back on course here. What is the most important challenge that you've overcome, that you've learned to overcome selling annuities? So something that used to trip you up early in your career, now if you see it coming, you know how to handle it.
Initially, when I first got into the annuity business, it didn't come easy to understand the suitability side, even though I understand numbers and because I'm somebody that if you say you need to not be higher than this percentage, or this has to look like this, or this has to look like that, that's great. I can understand A plus B equals C, but I'm somebody that really wanted to learn the nuts and bolts of it. So to be taught that you don't need to understand the nuts and bolts, you can go get help. I didn't have that help in my prior company. Here, we've got Sean Ruggiero, we've got your staff, we've got AMS, where you can reach out and actually get a little bit of the understanding so you can continue to move it forward.
Yeah.
But I had to struggle at first to be able to let go of, I want to know it all.
Yeah, good point.
So now I use that actually with the agents that are coming on board with my agency, and spend a lot of time coaching on stop trying to know 100%, get out in the field, make your mistakes, and let's learn along the way, because you're going to learn faster, you're going to learn stronger, and you're never going to have to repeat that mistake.
Yeah, and you might stumble into a few sales too.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Last question, what would your primary piece of advice to a brand new agent be?
My primary piece of advice to a brand new agent would be to absolutely plug in. Put your head down, get on the calls, learn your scripts, buy your leads, make your phone calls, get out in the field, watch all the training videos on YouTube and Next Level Live and AMS and everything that gets posted on Facebook. You know, this company is really transparent and really good in a lot of people posting their successes and near successes right online, where you can listen to that and you might get a nugget out of that, oh, I've had that happen,
Right.
now I know how to fix that the next time in the house.
Yeah, excellent.
So as a brand new agent, if people can just plug in and understand that the fastest way to actually start getting good is to just do what everybody else that had success has done, you're gonna move a lot faster through your business.
Great advice. Great advice. All right, you heard it here from the highest grossing per diem producer in the history of Family First Life, David Allen. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you here.
Appreciate
All right. Take care, y'all.
Thank you, Sean, for having me on the Advanced Market Sales Live this week. 2019 has come to a wrap, and all the issue paid numbers have came out for annuity volume. Congratulations to all the agencies out there inside of Family First Life. A tremendous year of growth. I expect it to be even bigger here in 2020. Congratulations to Family First Life Northwest. We were able to be the #1 overall agency for annuities. I'm proud of the team. What's interesting about our stats inside that, we only have one agent in the top 5 for overall annuity volume. So it just goes to show you that a lot of our agents are really getting in this quinton of the business. They're really finding premium in the house through financial inventory. They're figuring out, you know, what type of money clients have. They're figuring out what the money is for, and they're also figuring out when these clients need money. Those are the 3 aspects that you really need to focus on here in 2020. And then once you identify the problem, you provide the solution through the simple aspects of Ask a Specialist, getting on these calls, plugging into the podcasts that are available, plugging into all the next level training, plugging into the system we have in place. It's a tremendous opportunity for each and every one of you. And if you're in the field here in 2020 and you're not focused on this quinton of business, you literally are stepping over dollars, picking up pennies. So a couple layers of success you need to understand is, first, it starts with hard work. That's probably 25% of the magic, I suppose, of success. But hard work isn't good enough. Hard work is expected if you really want to have a big year inside of any business, let alone here at Family First Life. So we expect you to work hard and outwork the competition, but your next levels are your organization skills. What does your schedule look like? How much white space do you have in your calendar? How much are you able to focus on hiring? How much are you able to focus on advanced market, life insurance sales, etc.? Your ability to have a very tight schedule is going to help you dominate here in 2020. The next, scenario that I could give you in regards to success would be your decision making. So you need to understand that everything comes with a cost. So if you choose not to do advanced markets, again, it's going to cost you money. Just like if you choose to not hire, that's going to cost you money. Everything that you do is going to affect one level of this business or not. So your job here in 2020 is to focus on the opportunities you have. If you're an agent that's inside the house and you are not finding premium, you're probably doing something wrong, because everyone has money. And the last level of success that I can give you is, we always talk about not being a perfectionist, but I'll tell you one thing. In order for you to have confidence in the advanced markets category, you really need to make sure that you're learning so you can become an expert in this area. Because the more that you start to evolve and understand this, Quentin, the more confidence you'll have. All of a sudden, you're really going to start to generate a huge amount of income. So this has always been a minimum of a 6-figure opportunity for each and every one of you. Your job here in 2020 is, in my opinion, is to make sure that you generate that 6-figure income in the advanced market area. And then also what that's going to allow you to do is, you're going to be a lot less desperate as a salesperson. You're going to have more cash flow. You're going to be able to invest in your business. You're going to be able to get the office you need. You're going to have the staff that you want, all because you start to focus on this advanced market area. So congratulations to all of you here at Family First Life. A tremendous 2019 year. I think we're going to break a lot of new records in 2020. Sean has set out the goals, and 400 million or die, right? So I hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon here at the National Convention in Las Vegas on February 6th through the 8th. It's going to be a tremendous amount of training with Tom Hagna, Sean Ruggiero. That retirement workshop is something you can't miss. So I will see you guys soon. Take care.
You literally just
You
brought it up. I was trying to make it go away.
Oh, because Bridget's pushing around. Are you-
We're good. Just go. Okay.
You didn't do this.